What if right now you are literally sprinting yourself towards burnout and you don't even realize it? So, for the past 5 months, I have been in a sprint in my business. And one of the things that I realized is how easy it is to get sucked back into this routine and start considering it the norm. And so today we're going to break down what that actually looks like so you can be aware of where you are and any warning signs that you should be looking for. So, hey, I'm Salen. I am a scale and systems strategist. I work with women entrepreneurs who are around $1 million in business. You have built a successful business on the outside, but behind the scenes, your team is in your inbox 24/7 looking for answers from you. You're constantly fixing things that didn't go right the first time. Your revenue is growing, but your profit is not in your pocketbook, or your revenue may be stuck because you are out of time. You're in the right place because we are talking exactly today to look at those early signs of what may be going on and how to move through this season in business. So let's dive in. So, back at the end of 2025, I did my yearly assessment on my business. I learned this from John Maxwell. He has a practice called his year in review, where he spends the last week of every single year. And what he does is he analyzes his entire calendar. Well, I learned this many years ago and have been doing it every single year. I now teach it to my mastermind, and I've also added it into my quarterly planning for profit workshops that I host for clients. And so, what I did at the end of 25 to really dive in, because I had been 5 years in business in January of 2026, is I really dug into everything on such a tiny detail, like 10 layers deep. I looked at every single client I worked with for the past 5 years, literally spreadsheets of data. And what I really realized was my signature program, the Legacy Business School, was too vast. It was trying to help the women who were new and the women who were in the middle around six figures and the women who were at 1 million all try and get results. And I realized that in 2026, niching down is exactly what I needed to do in that program. I had started the niching down process in 2025, and it was time for this program to evolve. And my initial first thought was I was going to create a higher level coaching program for women around 500 to a couple million in revenue. And that was what I was going to focus on solely. And I was going to close the Legacy Business School after 4 years. However, that is not how things went. And the universe always sends you those signals. And so, as I was building my new program, the Simply Rich Business Experience was a 12-month program to get women out of the daily operations so their business shifts from becoming a liability to an asset so you can scale it, step away, start something new, or prepare for a sale, right? I was having so many women reach out to me who really needed the Legacy Business School. So, my original plan, in order to spend 90 days, I have been working in 90-day segments my entire career, right? So, pretty much 25 years. I had planned to spend 90 days developing the Simply Rich Business Experience, launching it, and then basically saying, okay, it's here. And that would be my focus. But when I realized that the Legacy Business School really had legs behind it, it just needed to be updated, that I decided to add that on. And my 3 month sprint, which is what I teach clients, you should not be sprinting more than 3 months. turned into a 5-month sprint. And by the end of the 3 months, I was starting to feel it. Because in the middle of working on this large project to create a whole new program on everything I know with 19 years of business experience in multiple businesses and industries and settings and all of that, I realized that I took a mini vacation. My boyfriend was gone for 3 weeks. We were buying an RV and it got delayed. So we were moving into temporary housing. So just all the things were coming in. I was flying out to Denver to do a keynote. I was attending 3 conferences for multi days. It was just a lot. And so I really said to myself, is now the time to do the Legacy Business School? But I was in such a groove. I had, a routine of how I was recording the videos, how I was writing the scripts. I had a video editor on board that was editing all the videos. Like I was just in this amazing groove and I kept going. But I can tell you, as I wrapped up that sprint, July 4th weekend, when we moved into our new tiny home, which I absolutely love. If you have not seen the videos, follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll see behind the scenes of living in a tiny home. Then I really realized that 5 months was way too long, and it confirmed why I do what I teach, right? So the first 3 years of my entrepreneurial journey, 2007 to 2010, I worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years straight, not 3 months, 3 years. And that is how I ended up in 2010, sitting in my car after covering a caregiver shift again, sobbing my eyes out when I should have been celebrating my first million in revenue. And these past 5 months were a reminder of how you can get caught up in the just a little bit longer cycle and just forget how much time has gone by. And so this week's newsletter was all about how you need to recognize the early signs on what's going on in your business and in your life and in your mind, body, and soul. So that way you don't keep getting stuck in this hustle culture. I did some research for the newsletter, and one of the things that I found was 61% of female founders cite too much to do and too little time as their number one barrier to success, and more than half face burnout outright. And some of the things that I want to talk about is, what are those early signs of burnout? So one, exhaustion, right? If you're tired, that's an early sign of burnout, and not just tired one day. Like I'm sure you can hear in my voice, yesterday, I had 2 presentations in one day. My voice is a little throaty today. And so, continuous exhaustion, meaning like a really great night of sleep isn't fixing it. You almost need like an entire week of sleep, right? Fatigue, where you're feeling like you're not just tired, but your body is really shutting down.